And tonight, the show of strength for this crisis is growing in South Florida.
A group of demonstrators lined the streets of Boca Raton. Their message for the U.S. to stop sending money to Middle Eastern countries they say are run by dictators. News Channel 5's Rochelle Ritchie was at today's demonstrations, and she joins us now with more on their message. Rochelle?
Jim and Kelly, the good news is today's demonstrators in Boca Raton maintained a peaceful protest, unlike the one that has unraveled in Cairo. They say they have loved ones who are in the midst of this turmoil and must show their support from afar.
They've been chanting in Cairo for 8 days now. And today the same chants could be heard on the streets of South Florida.
Free, free!
An organized protest formed exactly like the one in Egypt via Facebook.
Mubarak is a tyrant!
A crowd of 200 was expected, but it was more like 50. Still, the protesters say no matter the size of the crowd, it's the cry for the cause that matters most. They say they've watched in horror as their country became the scene of mobs and destruction.
I hate to see it destroyed like this.
The protesters gathered here just after 3 o'clock this afternoon. They came with signs calling Mubarak a criminal and a tyrant. Like their brothers and sisters in Egypt, they say it's time for Mubarak to get out.
Today, President Obama acknowledged the violence and says he's praying for peace.
We pray that the violence in Egypt will end and that the rights and aspirations of the Egyptian people will be realized.
But some say the president needs to not only pray, but also cut funding to Middle Eastern countries with leaders they call dictators.
Basically, they're all corrupt. A lot of them do receive funding from America, and that's why some of them are even able to continue in power for this long.
The protesters say what is happening across the Middle East is not only historical, but closing the gaps that once divided them.
I'm not even Egyptian. I'm Palestinian, but I can relate to the struggle, so that's why we all come out and support one another.
We don't have any free election. I don't have registration there to elect.
And the State Department expects the clashes to get even more violent today in Cairo. Protests also broke out in Yemen as Egypt continues to lead the example of free speech. I'm Rochelle Ritchie, WPTV News Channel 5.